Okay, I learned how to graft today. What is grafting? It's the coolest thing. So I'm on about a half acre of land and I want to be able to grow more food because I lost a whole bunch of my mature trees in a storm a couple years ago. So I thought, what a great opportunity. Now I can put in some fruit trees and I can put in some nut bushes. So today when I learned how to graft, and I learned some really cool things, is these are 2 apple trees. And so what happens is you have 2 things going on here. So this is called the rootstock. So the rootstock was brought in by Bill Nash. He owns Nash Nurseries. And so this rootstock is actually bred for a dwarf tree. Both of these are. So what that means is that when I grow these, they're not going to be out of control. They're going to be manageable so that we can pick the fruit and we don't have to worry about not getting to the upper branches. So then what you do, these rootstocks are known for being disease resistant as well as them being a dwarf tree. So they're really hardy rootstock, known to grow really well, really good trees. Then you pick it's called scionwood. So it's clippings of particular types of apples. So you can see here, so this is where the joint is. We put a cut in the rootstock and then you put a cut in the scionwood and then you join them together and then just put tape around them. And then of course you have to put tape around the top, or these also both have some wax on them to protect the cut. So this scionwood here, this is called pristine. This is a pristine apple. And then this scionwood is called Williams Pride. I can't remember why I chose those. But I also said, well, if I'm going to have disease-resistant rootstock, I wanted disease-resistant scionwood as well. So it doesn't mean they're not going to be completely without, but I also didn't want to have to baby them, and I don't want to have to spray. So I'm trying to create as pure of an environment as possible because, you know, if you can see all the dandelions over here, you can see that chemicals don't touch this lawn or this house. So these are my 2 apple trees that I'm going to plant, and I've got a couple of buckets of dirt. I'm going to just keep them in buckets for now because I have to replace that shed. See here, that smashed shed back there? So that's getting replaced, and then I think I'm going to put the nut trees in the back of the yard, and I've got some elderberry coming, and so I'm creating like green hedges, if you will, hedgerows, but we'll figure out where to put these. But for now, they're going to stay in pots until I can move them around. This guy behind me, this is actually a golden delicious apple. I belong to a group called Michigan Fruit and Nut Growers, and at our meeting a couple of weeks ago, we always have an auction, and so this was also brought by Bill Nash. I bid on it and I won it, and so this is a golden delicious. Now this will get large enough in probably a year or 2 that I could actually take another piece of scionwood and I could graft it onto the golden delicious. So I could have golden delicious growing and I could have whatever the heck else I wanted on there. And so when it comes to grafting though too, one of the things that we learned today was it's really species specific. So I couldn't particularly take a plum and graft it on there. I mean, it'd be a fun experiment. You could try it, but really you should stay within the apple family. So I think I'd like to also do this with pear. I'd love to have a pear tree, and I think maybe the next thing I'll do is a pear tree and then start grafting pears. But for now, we have the apples going. So I have 3 apple trees, and then again, I can cross these, I can add more to them, which is really cool. So that's our apples today, and that is what we have going on with grafting. Great technique if you have a small area and you want to grow fruit, but you just don't have the space to grow multiple trees. Maybe you take 1 tree, something like this, and then you can start grafting onto it in a year or 2 when it starts to branch out and start to put other varieties on there. So super cool stuff. So if you haven't grafted, there's also a really cool tool. I'll drop a link down below to the tool that we used today. You can do it by hand, but I was looking online and there's all these people showing how they cut their fingers open and stitches and emergency room visits, and I just cannot afford to ruin these babies. So somebody else in our group brought a grafting tool and it worked beautifully. So I'm going to order that. I think it's like $20-25. So that worked out out really nicely, and so I have my, and it was quick too. So, all right, so that's it. Those are my grafted apples going into pots for now. All right, let me know what you think. Have you done grafting, and what kinds of things do you want to grow? It's just about time. Mother's Day is just around the corner. In our zone, we're told, last frost isn't like our safest time to plant is after Mother's Day. My apples will all go inside at night still in case there's a frost because they're just too young. As soon as that last frost comes, then I can go ahead and bring these guys outside and let them get some exposure to the actual environment. Okay, all right. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for being here.